Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Whether you're watching on video or listening on our podcast show, we're always excited to share important information with you. I am Jill Bloom, publisher of Roofing Contractor, Walls and Ceilings, and Building Enclosure. And today I'm here with Ryan Groth, the CEO of the Sales Transformation Group, who is one of our awesome speakers from Best of Success, not just this year, but I guess several times at Best of Success, who always has great information to talk about. And one of the things that Ryan was talking about at Best of Success was just how to increase your closing ratio. There were some really cool points. So first and foremost, Ryan, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Jill. Glad to be back on.
Yes. And so Ryan, what we were talking about is some of the things, the points you were talking about just in September down in Dallas. This is kind of the third of one of those things, those levers that we mentioned, and a little bit about technology. And you had some really great things to share. So I'll let you take it from there and let's talk technology.
Cool. Thanks, Jill. So at the event at Best of Success, I talked about how to improve your company closing ratio, pulling 3 levers. First lever is devoted focus on sales process. Secondly, devoted focus on salespeople. I talked about that in 2 different sections with you, Jill. And now we'll just talk about devoted focus on technology. And so I'm just going to share with you my slides. There you go. And just focus on technology. And one of the illustrations I use, I mean, it's, pop culture, is Iron Man and Marvel. I mean, we've all kind of watched it, and now we got all the new Marvel people coming out, and we'll see how those characters go, because what they did the last 10 years is pretty epic. But if you just think about Tony Stark, right? Like Tony Stark is a smart guy, but he's actually an Avenger. And yes, it's all fiction, but he uses technology to enhance himself and his abilities. So my whole premise is, if we have a great sales process and we have this Tony Stark type talent, like a smart person, right? Maybe it's a great salesperson focusing on that. Now, how do we make that good salesperson even better, right? How do we augment them? How do we turn them into an army of Iron Men, right? So and whenever you give technology to sales teams, it kind of feels like this. It's like, wow, they're equipped to do more than they would without technology, right? What could they do with it? So I think this industry is adopting technology faster and faster and quicker and more quickly than ever. But I just want to kind of show you this fun illustration. Imagine you have your Iron Man suit on as a salesperson. What are all the ways in which we can upgrade sales and pull that lever of improving sales with technology? So just take a look at this. First off, sales mindset and coaching, like that can all be performed via online training courses on demand these days. Like, that's something, shameless plug, we have at STG just specifically, but there's other ones out there. So you can actually take a salesperson, increase their mindset and their process by with coaching online, right? That's one. Let's talk about pre-qualification. We can pre-qualify with technology to help us ensure we're speaking to high propensity buyers, right? So whether that's marketing automation that helps us lead score, that's pre-qualification forms that prompt the end user, the prospect, to share more enticing information about them being a high propensity buyer before you invest your salesperson resources to go out there. Another example is having data so that when you go into, let's say, knocking a neighborhood, if you have that type of sales model, to be able to see in advance, is this somebody that has the income, the debt to income ratio, the credit score, the purchasing history that shows that they are the type of person that is a good fit to buy your roofing project, right? So that's all available these days, right? So imagine instead of knocking 100 doors that you hope are good, you knock 25 doors that are going to be high propensity buyers. You're going to have a higher closing ratio just by having that information, right? You can also build more trust and introduce your company and yourself through video in automated format, right? Think about all these things. You could referrals and social proof can all be done via video. You can exhibit expertise digitally in little 30-second repair videos. So here's how we do this. Here's how we do this. It's demonstrating you guys are professionals without a salesperson having had to interact yet, right? That's just making the salesperson stronger. You could also do sales process online. You can conduct via Zoom. You could prospect with automated tools and list building. You can, and obviously residential, commercial, there will be 2 different types of tools and models, but measurements, you can measure through technology. You could do the accurate estimating. You could even do 3D modeling through technology. We got like different ones for commercial buildings. You got aerial imagery and from the airplanes. You have, the 3D modeling that you take when you take pictures, and you can simulate what the home's going to look like with different technology. It's amazing. You could also accomplish accurate estimates through technology and professional proposal templates, strategic account management, recruiting and screening new salespeople could be done through funnel building, and then even ramp up qualified candidates at scale through courses and playbooks. You think about all that type of tech. I'm sure I'm missing some, but you just think about that and you're like, wow, if I could attract and bring in a person who should and could be great at selling, and that's all they focus their time on because we delegated the rest, and I strap on these machines to him or her, that's going to make them even better, right? You could just think about all these things. You're like, oh, that would help the closing ratio. Each one of these things moved the closing ratio 1%, improved it 1%. You're going to have, a 20% increase in closing ratio. I don't know if you guys have done the math, but that would be a pretty significant increase in your existing efforts, right? Imagine taking your existing efforts, it's knocking 100 doors, putting on $10 million in quotes and proposals, and just saying, hey, I'm going to go from 15 to 20%, and we're going to get it to 35 to 45%. The same amount of quoting, the same amount of effort, you would close double the business. And if you do it right, you probably have higher margins and shorter sales cycles. So imagine not just with the same amount of quoting, but a shorter time to close, a higher number of deals closing, and then a higher margin from those deals close or a larger deal size. You're pretty much tripling your bottom line. So that's essentially how the power of closing, knowing a closing ratio and, improving it. And so in recap, just kind of what I talked about before, I said in another section, focusing on sales process, salespeople, and technology. So that's it. I just wanted to cover that today. And I don't know if you got any additional thoughts or questions, Jill, but that's what I had in mind.
No, it's all great. It gives some contractors some really good things to think about. But Ryan, if contractors do have questions for you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
I think I still have this from our presentation. Let me see. Yeah, you can do this right here. You can download a mini course just in case you're interested in seeing a little bit of our program, which is, we did this the best of success. But my email and cell phone number is down here. So you can just email me at rgroth@salestransformation.com. And I got my new number here in the Hawaiian Islands, 808-463-0974. Yes, I did change my number. And when we got over here, I went flip phone, no number for about 6 months. It was a good break during COVID, and then I got a new number. So this is.
So you're back onto technology.
I'm back on. Yeah, I needed a breather for a while. It was good to take a break.
I think we all need to do that from time to time. Why don't we take a second and tell me about that?
Yeah.
How did you decide you needed to take a break from your phone?
Just not to get too personal, but I just think the family life was just getting a little, there's too much Brian on the phone. Let's just say that during family time. So I was like, you know what? I can make a switch. I can do something here. I'm committed. I'll do whatever it takes because I wanted to. I felt like it was just a reoccurring theme. It was really hard for me to not, try to grow my business. Checking my phone. So I was like, let me show you. I could do this. So I got rid of my old number, and I got a flip phone, and that was daggum near impossible to text on. So it was just literally via Zoom and all the social apps. I still use it, but I wouldn't, use it all the time and text and be on it all the time. I would only use it via Wi-Fi. So if I was I had my old phone, but I would use Facebook Messenger and talk to people there a lot. But what I did was I ended up, anytime we'd be out and about, I couldn't have my phone with me while we were taking a hike or at the beach or going to church or whatever. So I wouldn't be always on. I'd only use it whenever I was in a state of work. And then eventually I was like, okay, we've modified it, got back to a good routine here. And
you got a good balance now.
Let's get the phone. Yeah. So it's all good. Yeah.
I think everybody needs, what do they call it? Social cleansing or something just to balance out the lifestyle. Because it really is easy to get sucked into, here's the phone, right? Here we go.
First thing you wake up, last thing before bed, all day, it's wow. So anyway, technology is fantastic, but it can suck you out of reality and get you out of the matrix a little bit. So got a
good balance. Good balance, right? Well, great insight as always, Ryan. Thank you so much. If anybody has any questions for us, you can reach us at roofingcontractor.com, wconline.com, or buildingenclosureonline.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our free e-newsletters, register for the website, check out the new e-magazine. It's a really cool new platform. But most importantly, please stay safe and healthy, and we look forward to talking to you next time.